Hello, welcome to today's video, which is going to be an introduction to Nation Roleplay, or Nation RP, whichever you will. And we're going to be featuring the Discord Nations server, which runs on the platform Discord. And that'll be linked in the description. The first question that may arise is, what is Nation RP? Well, Nation RP is when you have a group of players coming together to participate in a multi-nation game, but also sort of simulation. And this can take place in the fictional or real world, but for today we'll be looking at the real world. And so, why would you want to participate in something like this? Well, maybe you enjoy strategy games, maybe you play Paradox games, Hearts of Iron, Crusader Kings, Europa Universalis, Victoria, or maybe you play Civilization. Anything that involves running your own kind of nation will help spark an interest in this sort of game. I think this game can be even more rewarding than those experiences. Maybe you want the feeling of running a country in an active world. Maybe you're an active news follower. You have opinions on government, or on foreign policy, or on domestic policy, and you want to play that out in a simulation with other players who are also playing that out. This is a perfect opportunity to do that. Maybe you have an interest in politics, history, or economics. This can be useful because it'll help inform how you play the game. Say you're really into politics, you love exploring different ideologies. You can control a country and shift it towards that ideology. Maybe you're a devout communist, or you just want to experiment with that idea. You can take any country, and if you just roleplay out a storyline, they can become that ideology, and then you can try and spread it to other places, or team up with other people who also adopt that ideology. There's also a fully fleshed out economic system that you can explore. And if you're really into history, that can help inform what you do. Maybe you want to recreate an old empire. Maybe you want to rebuild Rome, the Mongol Empire. You can try to do these things. What makes it interesting is that everybody else is going to be trying to do these things. And you can also learn a lot. New players are often encouraged to take small countries in Africa or the Pacific Ocean. And by taking these countries that nobody really gives a second thought to in daily life, you can learn a lot more about them as you do research and you consider what you might want to do with the country. What's involved in the game? Well, the game is what you make it. We have a variety of features, including a fully functioning United Nations, featuring a Security Council, a General Assembly, an International Court, and an Economic Council. There's a simulated world economy, featuring in-depth gross domestic product stats, very different economic outcomes depending on where you take your country. International events, news stories that change the shape and form of the simulation of the game, of the roleplay. Your own domestic politics. You can take your country in the direction that you want to take it. Global alliances, you can work with other players to come together and make all of your goals come true. Or you can betray other players. There's an in-depth world political element. And lastly, there's a robust warfare system, where video games have set systems and certain parameters which you fight within. When it comes to a text and image-based roleplay, it really comes down to how well you can plan out a war, how prepared you are. And because the way time progresses is matters of weeks instead of hours or instead of years, you're really playing at that tactical level as you get updates every couple days of how things are going. But what does this actually look like? So when you first join, it's going to look very busy. As you see here, this is the general discussion category, but it's not too hard to get the hang of it, and I'm going to help guide you through that. Firstly, you're going to see the newcomers channel. This is where all new players come in and they get the welcome message. And the welcome message has a couple links. The first link is to a player guide, but you don't need the player guide because you're watching this. But the second link is going to bring you to a place where you can choose a country. And that's going to be a spreadsheet that lists every country on Earth and whether it's open or not. So you just need to go find one that's open, one that interests you, or one that doesn't, and you'll be willing to learn about it. And then you'll come back into the channel and you'll say that I want that country. And then hopefully, one of the welcoming staff members will come along and give it to you. But if they don't, feel free to ping any of the staff members that you see on the other side of the server. Then, maybe you want to head to the general chat. This is where most people are active, and it's going to be the best place to make connections and speak to more experienced players. The thing is, you could ignore all these other channels below it as you do this. They aren't super relevant, and they're quite self-explanatory. They aren't nearly as active as these two channels, and they just aren't extremely relevant. And so next, let's explore what the actual roleplay aspect looks like. So events are happening nearly every day in the server. These get posted in a place called International News, and you want to know what's happening. So here we can see there's warlords rising in Africa, and it's like disrupting the entire continent. Where are you going to learn about that? It's going to be in the top channel of the game feed. It's called International News. Now let's talk about national news. You want to let people know what's happening in your country, the news of the day. So here is an example. You see that the Thai king has died, and that's the Thailand player choosing to write an event about how his king died. The staff did not write this event. Staff write international events that concern multiple countries so that they can be unbiased. But players can write their own events about things happening in their country. And so that's what happened here. And if you want to do that, national news is going to be where you go. And as you write your events out, the way you're going to do it is totally up to you. The only thing you have to remember is that before you post, you just need to DM a staff member so that they can approve it. They will approve almost anything. We just need to make sure that it fits the world that has been built. It's very open-ended. Now, if you don't want approval and you just want to participate in the simulation, one of the best places to go is going to be the server's social media channel. And here you can tweet out as members of your government. You can be the president, the prime minister, whichever your government has, or you can just be the country itself. It's not too relevant as long as it's within your country. And you can tweet out announcements or proclamations. Say you want to denounce a country, you would do it here. Say you want to comment on an international news event, but you want to do it in character, you would do it here. It says here, tweet your mind, no approval needed. And that's because anyone can go in and tweet there as long as they have a country. And they can tweet pretty much anything, as long as it's semi-serious and related to the simulation. But what else? Well, I'm not going to get into everything in this video, but you may get pinged in this channel. It's called UNGA voting. That's the United Nations General Assembly. And so what this means is that somebody has proposed a resolution, and you're going to get to vote on it. So if you look in the circle, this is General Assembly Resolution 18, and there would be a text underneath. I haven't included it. But at the bottom, it's going to say this vote will last 24 hours, and you can click one of these for your options. You have yes, no, and abstain, and you're just going to react with how you feel about it. It's very simple, and I encourage everyone who plays to do this because it helps create a more active international environment. But what else? Well, I think that just about covers the basics, actually. If you wish to join, the link's going to be in the video description, and I really encourage you guys just to join and try it out for a week, 2 weeks, even a month, because it can be overwhelming on your first day, and that's why we encourage people to take small countries. But taking any country helps improve the activity of the game, and it helps build a more vivid world. Over the next few days and weeks, I'm going to make more videos, and they're going to go over more features, including how to make your own UN votes. We looked at how you might get pinged for a UN vote, but we didn't really look at how you propose one. So I'll be looking at that in the future. We'll also be talking about the economy system, which is quite in-depth. And it's kind of a take it or leave it thing. You don't have to engage with the economy. You can just do the things I laid out in the video, and you'll get along just fine. Waging war. I'm going to go over warfare, how it works, how you should format your plans, and what past wars have looked like. And I'm going to also look at much more. We're going to have a ranking video ranking all the different end of season maps. The game goes in seasons, so after a while we reset the world to modern day again. And I'm going to go over my ranking of my favorite maps. But with that said, thank you all for watching.